What if I told you that you could say pretty much everything you need to say using only 850 words? That's what we're digging into today, this idea of the 850-word world. Yeah, you heard that right. 850. Just let that number sink in for a second. Imagine that is your entire vocabulary. What could you possibly do with that? I mean, it's a pretty wild thought, right? To limit yourself to a vocabulary that could probably fit on just a couple of pages. Do you think you could still have a deep conversation or explain a really big, complex idea? Or, even just tell a good story? Well, it turns out this isn't just some hypothetical brain teaser. It's a real system, a whole idea called basic English. And it's designed specifically for international communication, built on a super solid foundation of, you guessed it, 850 very carefully chosen words. So to really get how this whole thing works, we've got to look at the building blocks, right? The individual pieces. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to put just one of those 850 words under the microscope and see what makes it so special. And our guide for this little linguistic expedition, it's the Simple English Wiktionary. It's a really cool resource, and as it turns out, it is the perfect place to find our little specimen. Okay, so the word we've pulled out, our exhibit A for today, is hook. I know, it sounds super simple, maybe even kind of boring, but trust me, as we're about to find out, that simplicity, that's its superpower. So right away, at the very top of the dictionary entry, we get our first major clue. It says it right there. This isn't just any old word. Being on this list means it was specifically chosen. It's considered essential. The big question is, why? All right, let's start the dissection. Let's break this thing down. What is it about the word hook that got a VIP pass into this exclusive 850-word club? What makes it so darn useful?
Okay, the very first thing you notice about hook is just how efficient it is. I mean, this one little word is a total workhorse. It does the job of at least two different words.
And that simplicity, it starts with the sound itself. Just say it, hook. It's one little syllable. That makes it super easy for people all over the world, no matter what their first language is, to say it. And that's absolutely crucial if you're building a language for everyone. So its first job is as a noun. And just look at that definition. It's not some big, floaty, abstract idea. It's a thing. It's physical. You can picture it in your head right now, right? A fish hook, a hook for your coat. It's a real, tangible object that pretty much everyone can understand. But wait, there's more. It's also a verb. So you don't just have a hook, you can hook something with it. See that? It's doing double duty. And that kind of efficiency, where one word pulls two different grammatical jobs, that's the secret sauce to making an 850-word language actually work. And it doesn't stop there. The word is also a great base for building other words. For example, from hook, you can get hooker, which just means a person or a thing that hooks. This is so smart because it lets you expand what you can talk about without having to add a ton of brand new words to the list. Okay, now let's go back to that special tag we saw a minute ago. Remember that? Because it's not just some random label. Think of it more like an official stamp of approval, the thing that links our little word hook to this whole big system of basic English. So if you were on the actual Wiktionary page and you scrolled all the way down past all the definitions, you'd find this categories section. Now, it might just look like boring website stuff, but for us right now, this is where we find the key that unlocks this whole thing. Take a look at this list here. You see nouns, verbs, regular verbs, yep, all the stuff we just talked about. But look, right there at the top, B850. That is what we've been looking for. That's the gold. So here's the big takeaway. That little tag, B850, isn't just for organizing the website. No. It's the official confirmation. It's what tells us that hook has been accepted into this elite group of 850 words, the ones considered powerful enough to build a whole working language. Okay, so we've spent all this time zoomed in on one tiny word. What does it all mean? What does this tell us about the bigger picture of how we communicate? Let's zoom back out. So, by putting hook under the microscope, we've basically figured out the DNA of a perfect basic word. Number one, it has a simple physical meaning. Two, it's a multitasker. It can be a noun and a verb. And three, it's easy to say, so anyone, anywhere can use it. Now, it's really easy to look at a list of just 850 words and think, oh, so the goal is just to dumb down English? But honestly, that's not it at all. That completely misses the point. The real idea here is all about power and efficiency. It's like building the ultimate toolkit. Instead of having thousands of tools you barely use, you find the absolute best, most versatile ones, and you show that with just a small, perfectly chosen set, you can build almost anything you can imagine.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. We live in a world with, well, with a huge vocabulary, tons of jargon, super complex words. But if you can build massive ideas with just 850 simple ones, what are we really doing with all the others? When we use complicated language, are we actually making things clearer, or are we just adding noise? What's the core idea we're really trying to, hook?